Hey guys, welcome back. As I transition perfectly seamlessly, no obvious cuts whatsoever from the music. And we're seeing a lot of 80 carries being hovered by blue team. I don't think they're all going to be picked up. I think Graves and Lucian might be. You know, who knows what we're going to see here. We've got Black Mirror, stinkytoefu, GG Sora, Fuzion Hybrid, and supavisor. Over on the blue team, we've got Blurr, Mr. Coincidence, ANIREY, and Cantore, along with Rashad on the purple team. So a lot of familiar faces tonight. This is now the second or third game we've cast with Jim. I think it's just the second. We've cast 3 games so far. This is the 4th. I've got all of the VODs and highlights up already if you guys want to go check those out. But I suggest to stick with the live stream. I just know a lot of players like to watch something that's already happened while they were here. Yes, Fuzion Hybrid is the volley bear from last game, and I would imagine the Twitch chatter big boy Buddha is also the volley bear from last game, and that's a Vayne locked in. So Vayne Graves, maybe Graves jungle, Vayne 80 carry. I don't think it's exactly a hidden fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Vayne 80 carry right now. I loved Vayne in Season 2, Season 3, played her a bunch, and then the other 80 carries just started to come out that kind of put her to shame, honestly. It's just a little bit sad, because my late game carry Vayne, it was in my heart, but I think somebody just needs to find a new optimal build in order for it to really work out. But until that happens, we're probably not going to be seeing too much effectiveness and late game potential out of Vayne right now. As I'm going to put on some background music for the Champion Select. Yeah. There we go. Now we've got some League of Legends background music. Sorry, my sinus is flaring up just a little bit. So now the comp is starting to be more realized. It is going to be Graves jungle, Vayne support, or Vayne 80 carry, Leona support, Pantheon top lane, and Fizz mid. It could also be Graves top. There's a whole bunch of different options that it could be. The fact that we're showing summoners right now kind of gives a little bit away. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my face so that we don't get any more interruptions. So if anyone needs to switch now, that's perfectly fine. Your Discord hype? I actually haven't seen it yet. Oh, yes. I definitely love that. Fuzion Hybrid also plugging himself there. Fuzion Hybrid playing support this game. So we're going to see him playing Leona instead of Volleybear. And then over on the purple team, we're seeing Cantore on his pretty much famous Nocturne at this point. Among the ArenaOnline community, a lot of people love seeing Jim play Nocturne. I know I definitely do. Rashad on Lucian, I believe, again. Mr. Coincidence, a newcomer to the stream. ANIREY, also a new face. Blurr, sounds familiar, but could be a new face as well. I didn't even realize I was on camera. I'm glad I didn't do anything embarrassing that I caught myself on. So I'm going to readjust, and I'm going to stare deeply into your eyes, guys, because I'm your shoutcaster in disguise. I didn't even need to say that last rhyme, but I wanted to because it hurt if I didn't. We're in our 3-minute spectator delay now. We've got Lucian, Nocturne, Garen, Lux, and Morgana. A pretty solid team comp overall. They've got the split push power in Garen. They've got the burst potential in Lux. They've got the backline threat of Nocturne. And they've got the peel and safety of Morgana, along with the sustained damage of Lucian. Very strong composition. Whereas blue team has kind of a double global with a Pantheon ult, which is a pseudo global, and then the teleport threat coming out from him as well. The summoners can be shown now since we are in here. And we're going to just take a look at these summoners for a little bit. You know, pretty standard. 80 carries to heal. Junglers took smite. Everyone has flash. Top laners have teleport. Mid laners have ignite. Supports have exhaust. Standard, standard, standard. All over standard. We don't know who's posing as your Garen. ANIREY is actually posing as your Garen. As you can see here, Morgana with a helpful... Is that helpful? Great teammate. Great teammate, Morgana. Keep up the good work. You've been doing well for yourself. So we saw some music, heard some music rather, in the Champion Select. That's fine. And Pantheon versus Garen. ANIREY better not let him down. Yeah, Crown King is a pretty good top laner. We see him quite a bit on stream. There's some familiar faces in this game. We got Fuzion Hybrid, who we just cast. Supavisor, who normally plays Xin Zhao jungle. stinkytoefu, who we've cast once already. GG Sora, first time tonight that we've cast them, but pretty much everyone from Blue Team we've cast before. And Cantore and Rashad, we've cast a couple of times. I think Blurr we might have cast once or twice, but not like on a recurring basis where I would remember the name. Unfortunately, it's a memorable name, but it just kind of blurs into my mind. So in that last 30 seconds, we're going to go back to my face. This beautiful ArenaOnline logo right here. I'm sure most of you guys are from ArenaOnline, but if you're not, go ahead and check them out. They're great, and they help me, and they enable me to do what I like to do. They're giving me an audience to talk to, and that's just the greatest feeling in the world. Don't forget to hit that follow button, by the way, guys. I also have a Patreon page set up if you feel so inclined to donate something by the month. You don't have to, of course, but you will get your name underneath the stream. And if you want to and you donate enough, I'll actually kind of follow you around personally for a couple of days. If you want it, if you don't, that's fine. You know, that hurts. It really hurts when you make fun of my face like that. Kappa Ross. No, it wasn't Kappa Ross that said that. I'm sorry. So we're loading into the Rift now. I'm going to go back to these because everyone wants to see borders as we load in. We also are going to check masteries and keystones this time because that's a pretty interesting thing to check. I don't know if I can love you when your words sting like that, Dragon Man. I don't know. Ooh, we've got 2 plat players versus 1 diamond and 2 golds. So 2 plats and gold, silver, and presumably a bronze last season. I'm not for sure. I think he's bronze 1, actually, stinkytoefu. We've got Blurr, silver last season. Mr. Coincidence, either bronze or didn't play last season, but I think he had to be ranked last season to play. So he's bronze, but maybe not now. Who knows? You've got ANIREY, Cantore, and Rashad. Cantore being the diamond on the red team. We're going to load into this game. I'm going to take a very quick drink of water as we wait for the champions to come up. There we go. That took a little while. It's almost embarrassing. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to make sure top laners find their homes, mid laners find their homes, supports, jungle, there we go. Played that game and won. Now I need to make sure top lane, oh, we can't do that. Mid lane, and then get Fizz in here, and then get Vayne down here. Leona here, Vayne up here, Leona. Oh, I let go of it. Oh, well. And put Jungle Graves in the jungle. Now I got these portraits lined up down here. We're seeing a bit of an aggressive start by Blue Team. They managed to get a couple of decent wards down, whereas Red Team kind of has just some defensive wards in their jungle. Hopefully I'll be bringing on a co-caster for the next game, guys. Don't worry. I'm starting to talk quite a bit. But, you know, I feel like my voice can be listened to for a little while. And if it can't, you can always just mute the stream and watch the great action or make your own commentary. In fact, it would be pretty interesting to see you guys mute out my commentary and make your own. So if you have any screen recording software, I hereby give you the ability to do that. But you have to one-up me. That's the rule. You can't do subpar casting because that's not an improvement. And will hopefully try to make me some kind of a personality. Ooh, Supavisor taking a lot of damage there. About 200 health right as the minions are spawning. Can't go back to base and heal that off, Mr. Fizz. Mr. Fizzleton, you're going to have to go in to lane, get poked out even more. It's going to be a very tough lane for Fizz right here. He's going to have a tough time CSing. You're basically going to have to wait till level 4 when you've got all of your abilities up. And then just try to do your best, because otherwise Lux is just going to poke you out. You have to kind of let her shove back into your wave, and then just try to last hit under the tower as best you can. You pretty much have to give up early lane pressure. You're not playing for the early game here. You're playing for the late game, as Garen's silence is actually stopped by Pantheon's shield, which is Aegis something, I'm sure. What is his passive? Aegis protection. Hey, look at that. I was right. Ooh, Supavisor having to flash early on, but it gets Lux's Ignite. Does start Cloth 5. Yes, the dankness ever mean. Seal of approval. I appreciate that. Ooh, a nice flash by Black Mirror. Misses the Q, though, so Lux might be able to get away from this. The quick dash in there is going to be able to finalize the kill. First blood going over to the jungler. Very well played there, Mr. Graves. Taking a lot of damage, actually, was that Lux. And now Graves is coming up to the top lane. We're seeing Black Mirror with all kinds of plays early on, trying to catch on. He's going to have the quick shot. He's going to get the slow. I don't know if he's going to have enough damage for this, but my goodness, the Thunderlord's proc coming out and big damage. Garen's going to have to back, but he has teleport, so he should be good to go. Leona giving over that cannon minion thanks to the relic shield that she has in her inventory right now, whereas Morgana has a Spell Thief's Edge, and she's not even trying to poke. She should be putting down Tormented Soil right in the caster wave. You want to try to push that wave into the tower anyway, deny as much to Vayne as you can. It's a pretty good position right now where she doesn't really have to worry about losing too much because the cannon isn't putting a bunch of pressure on her. Once that does happen, however, you can pretty much guarantee she's going to drop some CS because it's just really difficult to last hit perfectly. She gets the Condemn away for the Silver Bolts proc, so that's a pretty cool interaction there. In fact, her combo, if you hit once with a regular auto attack and then tumble, it's gonna reset your auto attack, and then if you Condemn away, you're gonna get your Silver Bolts proc, and it can happen in a fraction of a second. Will be interesting to see her do that. She gets the empowered auto attack with tumble, and Morgana's gonna have to flash here, but Vayne is gonna be able to flash in as well and finalize that kill. Leona's going very low, but Lucian is as well. The Condemn goes down. Lucian's gonna have to relentlessly pursue it. It looks like Sora is just kind of baiting a little bit though, as we have Graves waiting off in the wings. He's gonna have to go back. They don't have any vision on him, so they didn't know he was there. But the vision might have just timed out potentially. It looks like it didn't. So they had no vision there. They didn't know he was there. Stinking Tofu out of mana completely. Garen is as well. But you know why that is? Because he doesn't have mana to begin with. And Mr. Coincidence taken very low. More than a coincidence here that you're getting camped. Fizz, a little bit difficult to really get ahead in this lane. Nocturne trying to find a duel onto Graves. He's going to quick dash away, but Nocturne has red buff and blue buff. The Black Mirror going to be going very low. Finds the Q onto Jim Cantore, but it's not going to be enough. Might even be able to find the kill onto Fizz if he's very, very careful about how he does this. He's going to try to probably throw it on the Q and then chase it down. It looks like Supavisor is going to try to back. Nocturne doesn't have his ult just yet. Looks like he's pretty far from it, actually. So if he had the ult, he'd be able to dash in there. He could just Spell Shield out the Playful Trickster damage once Fizz uses it inevitably. Unless Fizz just uses it to break the fear chain, which would actually be a pretty good play at the last second. And then Jim could be up the creek without a paddle a little bit. Overall, as directed camera deciding to let my mouse take over for a little bit. I wonder if I hold D if that even happens. Yeah, it does actually, so that's pretty cool. Not that that's ever something that I would need to use, because this is kind of an accident when I move my mouse anyway. But that's not too bad. Pantheon CSing very well with these spears. He's going to find quite a bit of damage from Garen. Garen level 5 now. Pantheon just hit level 5. Garen gets rid of the Aegis with his auto attack before he puts down the Q, which I'm sure has something to do with Demacia and the ability name. Ooh, Leona going to try to find a Zenith Blade onto Lux. Lux is getting absolutely camped here. They want to get Fizz ahead as much as they can. He's now 1-0-1 with no deaths. Lux is now 0-3. They're really camping her just as much as they can. It's a very tough lane for Lux right now. And that fact in itself is making for a very interesting mid lane. Jim Cantore finding the Fear Tether, but it's going to get broken as Leona flashes over the wall. She's going to be safe. Leads Jim right to a Vision Ward, however, and he's going to be able to take that out pretty easily. He's got the team collapsing on him, though. Blue team in the form of Fizz and Graves are coming down, but they've got wards and a scuttle, so it shouldn't be too much of a hassle down there. They've got 3 wards, and they saw it all the way along. So if you look at their river coverage, nobody can get through that river. So they're going to have to basically gank from behind. If Graves comes through Tribrush, he's going to have a basically unsuspecting way in. GG Sora taking pretty low. The Light Slinger passive doing a lot of work. Looks like Silver Bolts is going to find a proc onto Lucian. Vayne unable to finalize anything. Leona not able to get the complete lockdown. Garen taking Pantheon pretty low. The Aegis is going to be up soon, though, which means if he uses his Q, it's just going to get blocked out. So he has to be pretty careful there. Ooh, Garen flashing in. The Aegis getting blocked out. Or Aegis blocking out the Q. And Garen taking very low. Ooh, going to find a Dark Binding onto Sora. The Thunderlord's proc is going to go down, but it's just not enough damage. Lucian is too low to follow up on that. If he follows up on that with a dash, he's going to die because Leona's going to Zenith Blade in and then hit him up with that Shield of Daybreak. And then the Eclipse passive. And then that's basically all she wrote because Vayne only has to auto-attack you once there to go secure the kill. And this is what they're going to try here. Leona is not level 6 yet. Otherwise, they could just Solar Flare over the wall. She also doesn't have Flash up. So this is a pretty low chance, low success gank right here. But potentially could amount to something. We've now been streaming for just about 3 hours, guys. There's still time to get into those tournaments if you want back in. It's only 9:41. Maybe not. 9:42, guys. There's still time to get in if you want it. Blurr finding a big chunk of damage. She's going to go down immediately to that action. I was looking at my phone as it broke out, but we caught the tail end of it just a little bit. Nocturne going up to the top lane. That's going to be a very dead Pantheon. Pantheon getting the Fear Tether. Looks like Supavisor is going to be going in. Jim with a nice flash to the Playful Trickster damage. And Jim should be able to basically survive this. He's got the Spell Shield still, I believe, so he shouldn't really have too much of a hassle. It just came back up, so now he's going to try to look for a fight and just kind of Spell Shield reactively. He's probably going to try to Spell Shield the Urchin Strike or Tidal something. Urchin Strike. Ooh, they're going to go in. He's going to Urchin Strike to the backline. Jim Cantore Spell Shielding some of that damage. The teleport's coming in from Supavisor. He's going to have to flash. Jim could be in a little bit of trouble, though, as the jump from Pantheon off of that teleport shuts down Jim. So now a 3-1 Nocturne instead of a 3-0 Nocturne. As you just kind of see the power of teleport in action there. That's why everyone keeps running it, because it's just so strong. But you guys do have 20 minutes left on the tournaments, so be sure to get into them if you'd like to, guys, because there is no time like the present to start earning some QP. I know a lot of you viewers are already in the tournaments right now. In fact, the one that we're streaming at present. But if you're not, sign up for it. It's not too late. You can get into that queue. I don't know how many people are in it right now. Razor can probably help you out. 20 more minutes. Everyone get in. If you're watching this on the VOD, that's not applicable to you, obviously, but I hope you enjoy the stream nonetheless. I'll try to keep my commentary very neutral as opposed to only talking about ArenaOnline, because I don't know who's going to be watching down the line. And we've got a couple of highlight plays, and this Graves gank, they're just, Graves is all over the place, but I don't know if Garen's even going to go down here. He is. Pantheon's going to be picking up that kill. Vayne with a nice sidestep on the Piercing Light. Make sure that she can get out safely. Supavisor unable to survive, or unable to dodge that Lux damage. However, I can't say I blame him, as we're going to see a big initiation down here in the bot lane. This Black Shield's going to go down, but it's not going to matter because that's Black Shield. That's a Spell Shield, and Vayne going to be able to pick up that double kill. I was going to say Black Shield is a Spell Shield, and Vayne is doing pure AD and true damage, and you cannot mitigate that with a Spell Shield. You can't stop her from using Condemn, though, which is pretty good. 15-15, LOL. Jim Cantore, can he do it? Yes, he can, Tor. As he finds a double kill basically by himself in the jungle there. In fact, it was 100% by himself, and picks up a blue buff for himself as well, as well as the wolves. And now Fizz throwing down the ult. Jim's going to get burst down. He's going to try to find the Fear Tether, but it's not going to be enough. Fizz able to find that roam. He has Sheen. He's now building towards what appears to be a Lich Bane. I would imagine with those inventory items, you wouldn't want to just build like into a Void Staff with Sheen for just a little bit of safety. There's really not too many other build paths that it could go into. I think the Lich Bane combined cost on itself is like 750 or something, so he should have enough right now. But he's just going to try to farm up as much as he can. He's got 3 kills, 1 death, 2 assists. And Supavisor drawing the flash away from Lux. Otherwise, Lux definitely would have gone down. That's a red fish, blue fish, actually. There's 1 fish, and when he throws out his ult, there's 2 fish. So Dr. Seuss kind of predicting how this Fizz would be playing right now. And, you know, his skin is actually purple, too, which is what red and blue make, but we're not going to get to finish that point. Nocturne's following in that dust trail, but is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Jim's going to have to call it off. He's just not having much luck finalizing the kill onto this fish. Not much of a fisherman, I would imagine. He should have used the Angler Jack skin as Black Mirror finds a duel onto Lucian, trying to break that tether. It's going to find the Soul Shackles, but I don't think Morgana's going to have enough for this. Vayne comes in. She finds the Blade of the Rune King active. Don't stand in the dark. Oh, that's Jim Cantore coming in. Vayne's going to have to try to duel him. She's going to be invisible, and now Jim Cantore's got to split his attention, and he's going to end up dying. The Solar Flare comes in, but it comes in onto Vayne, and Leona's on Vayne's team. So Jim just being a little bit aggressive here. I think he's like, hey, I'm a diamond. I can win this game. He's just overextending a little too much for these kills. And right there was just a big sign of aggression as Supavisor running away with this game. He's got the Lich Bane completed now. He throws down Chum the Waters, gets his Shark called in, or a Manatee. Sometimes it's a Manatee. It just depends what kind of skin he's running. Right now he's running Void Fizz. Yeah, I think that's the purple skin. It's a pretty interesting skin. Oh, wow. Condemn finds the wall, and Lucian should be going down here. He's going to throw down the Piercing Light, but it's not going to be enough. He's trying to get out. Relentless Pursuit's not enough. The Exhaust goes down to Morgana, which is kind of questionable. But I think they were just trying to use it for zone to make sure that Morgana couldn't get him for the Soul Shackles, even though it wasn't up. Now, Jim Cantore going to find some damage onto Sora. Sora's going to have to try to get back. Jim Cantore with a nice flash to make sure he gets that kill. Garen trying to finalize that kill on a Pantheon. He's going to be able to find it, but he's going to trade 1-for-1 on his life. Pantheon finding the other kill. Morgana could be in a bit of a situation here. She is going to go down to Leona as they kind of turn that around onto red team. Jim able to find the kill onto Vayne, but not much else as he barely gets away. Blur pays for it with her life, and we're seeing some game momentum shifting very slightly. There's about a 5k gold lead for blue team right now, and it shows. It's definitely feeling like a game where they are up. This Graves, quite frankly, has been out jungling Nocturne, I would say. Nocturne has been trying his damnedest to stay in there, but it's just not quite enough for what he's doing. As we get pings everywhere. I don't know why they're pinging so much. They just want... Oh, they're pinging Lux. Okay, Lux is trying to execute right now. She's not going to find it. She's going to get killed by Vayne with the assist going over to Pantheon. So a full value kill. I failed to see what was happening at that initiation, but just kind of getting cut out pretty hardcore as everything kind of gets finalized there. That was not a particularly good decision from Lux. I don't know the story behind why she ended up there, but Leona's going to go on that Zenith Blade. She's going to find Shadow Daybreak. The Solar Flare is going to go down as well. Jim's taken very low. He spell shields. He finds the Fear onto Fizz. He's going to try to go onto Leona, but she jumps over the other way, kiting towards Supavisor. Jim Cantore is going to go down. Supavisor is not. Supavisor playing absolutely phenomenally, as is Vayne. 7-1 and 2, 5-1 and 4. 2-0 and 6 on Leona. So this is just kind of a systematic dismantling right now. Jim is just unable to find anything. And the nerfs to the calling coming in really big there. That would have been a kill if they hadn't nerfed the calling recently. Mr. Coincidence going to be going down here, I would say. It's just... You could say some sort of a pun involving coincidences, but honestly, it's just getting outplayed right here. It's not even worthy of a pun, as it's just kind of getting to the point where you feel like red team's going to go a little bit on tilt. This is now an 0-6-0 Lux. There's not really anything that you can do against that. Wow. That's going to be a free kill onto Vayne. Kind of getting a little bit cocky there. If you throw too much momentum back to this team, they are going to be able to punish you for it. Lucian finishing tier 2 boots before he goes on to his Essence Reaver. I understand he's a little bit gold starved. But that's a pretty questionable decision because that is going to set you back about 900 gold, which is well over halfway through to your Bloodthirster. He's going to be able to pick... Or not your Bloodthirster. Your BF sword. Now he's going to be able to pick up both. And I think he needs the extra 10% cooldown reduction immediately since Vayne went Swiftness Boots. But Vayne is going Swiftness Boots, so it's not like you're going to be able to escape too much anyway. Even if you just stay on Boots 1, you're going to have to be very careful with your positioning. You're going to have to put down Ardent Blaze and use the culling very well to kite back. But even that is not going to be enough to escape her. And even with tier 2 Boots, unless you have tier 2 Boots and Fervor and Phage and Ardent Blaze and culling going down, I don't think you're going to have enough to actually outrun her once she puts on the ultimate, which she's going to, because once she starts hunting those monsters with I can't remember her alt name. Final Hour. Once she starts hunting those monsters with Final Hour, she's going to have a very rough go. Or you're going to have a very rough go at trying to find her. Now, Graves is putting a little bit back in the pockets of red team here. He tries to dodge out of the Lux damage. Those Solar Flares coming around on the flank, though. This is just going to put the gold back in blue team's favor. Not that it was ever not in their favor. Stinky Tofu going to be going down here. Garen gets the execution. Vayne with the tumble, but she doesn't have vision. That's unfortunate. And now Sora's stunned up just outside of tower range. If she would have got stunned up in tower range, she would have died just there. So you've got to be pretty careful, Vayne. With this game looking a little one-sided, but we've seen bigger comebacks. It's going to come down to team comps, which unfortunately I do have to give the edge over to blue team's team comp. They seem to be doing not only quite well for themselves, but they have Fizz, Leona, Vayne, Pantheon, and Graves. As much as I hate the mid game of Vayne, it's not that I hate it so much as it just gets outclassed by a lot of other carries. This game, Vayne has reached basically late game status already. She's going to get Phantom Dancer soon. As you check on, face checks are never good, guys. Try not to do them. The teleport's going to be coming in as well. Lucian trying to put down as much damage as you can. The Soul Shackles catches onto one. Pantheon coming down on that teleport. Cantore finding the backline. Supavisor going down, and this is going to be a blue or red team fight that they're going to want to take and that they're going to win. Double kill based on a really great Nocturne ult. The rest of the damage was just not there. But if you think about it, though, they really don't have too much AP damage over on the side of blue team. So once Nocturne starts getting tanky, and once Garen gets his Dead Man's Plate, it's going to be very difficult for blue team to actually kill Garen. Ooh, Black Mirror putting down a lot of damage. Lux able to find that kill, though. Oh, stop with the BM, sir. Just because you got out doesn't mean you have to make fun of anyone. Mr. Coincidence going down, getting caught again. Garen flashing in, taking down that BMing Graves. That's a little bit of justice right there, guys. If you're going to spam Champion Master, you better make good sure that you're not going to die, because that team is going to be coming for you now. So, sorry, I was distracted by the chat for just a little bit. I have to pay so much attention when I solo cast. It is insane how much I have to pay. I think Lucian's probably just going to wait for that 70 or 700 gold so he can pick up the dagger. And he's picking up 2 daggers. So he's going to either go Phantom Dancer next or Blade of the Rune King second item. If he goes Blade of the Rune King second item, that's going to be a very big mistake, because he's not going to have the 40% CDR that Lucian so desperately craves. And if you don't get 40% CDR, your damage is going to be so ineffective. Like, your damage relies just as much on your abilities as it does on your actual AD. And if you go Phantom Dancer next, as calling range getting nerfed, and it makes a big difference. The 200 range is clearly coming into play here, that they took it down. And we are now seeing it being 5 more minutes for the Qs, guys, and then they're going to be taken down for the night. You can always come back tomorrow for more League of Legends games, however. And you can always come back on Sunday as well. They're starting at 2 p.m. this Sunday now, which is a change from what they normally start at, because nobody was showing up at noon, because nobody wants to show up at noon. Sunday is the day that you sleep in, and noon is probably the day that a lot of us gamers wake up, if we're being completely honest. Black Mirror caught out a little bit here. Cantore is going to throw down the alt. Paranoia, I think, might be the name of that alt, but we're going to get back to that in just a second, as Jim has to burn Flash just to get away from that Graves burst. Lux looks like she's trying to catch a binding onto Graves. Going to miss the binding. Pretty easy dodge there. Graves might have enough damage to actually take her out right now. He's got a couple of items, but he doesn't have any lifesteal. He also doesn't have a Hex Drinker, so Lux could burst him down if he's not careful. She's got Luden's Echo, and she's also going towards Morello's, but look at that. Supavisor and the rest of the team coming in, and Vayne definitely should have, or Lux definitely should have backed out there. I would say that is definitely a mistake on Lux's part, as it's just something you should be aware of. The rest of the team is going to be coming in. You even had vision down there when it happened. There's no way. There we go. So we're actually seeing those 2 daggers. One is going into an empowered dagger. The Courteous Shard, I think is the name of that. And then one is just going to stay a dagger. I think it's better to go Zeal. Just finish off the Zeal instead of getting those empowered daggers. That is going to become a static shiv or a rapid fire cannon. I think it probably needs to become a static shiv since rapid fire cannon got nerfed a little bit. But you want the range advantage on Vayne as well. This Lux, it may be diamond this season, but her border was plat, I believe. Not diamond. The Gym Cantore is the only one diamond last season, as we see stinkytoefu getting taken down by Garen. Garen now 4-4-4. And once he gets rolling, he's going to have Black Cleaver next. And he's probably going to build in the Dead Man's Plate after that. So, Sunfire Cape, Black Cleaver, and then Dead Man's Plate should give him quite a bit of sustain. And now Nocturne has Maul of Malmortius as Supavisor, just basically waiting in these brushes. And Lux is getting face-checking so hard and getting absolutely destroyed. She's building towards Morello's now, it looks like. Morello's or Athene's, either one would probably be pretty good. I think Morello's would be a little bit better, as Supavisor now on a killing spree. He's 10-2. He's got a whole bunch of damage, and he's also building towards what seems to be a chalice of... No, a forbidden idol is what that's going to go into, which means he should see a Morello Nomicon coming out of him. Even though he's already got the grievous wounds, he's probably just going to go that for the extra cooldown reduction as well. Because you want cooldown reduction. Even when you're this far ahead, you still need the cooldown reduction. You still need the spells to be cast quite a bit. You've only got 10% from Lich Bane. You've got 10% from the boots. And Gym Cantore is going to go on the Black Mirror. He's going to go low. He's going to spam his mastery, but it's not going to be enough. And Garen, we're going to see how long he can survive in these fights. Gym Cantore taking pretty low. The Dark Binding is going to land onto Leona. Lux should be able to find quite a bit of damage. Ooh, nice play by Supavisor, but Garen finds the dunk, and now Leona's going to be in a lot of double trouble. The Soul Shackles goes down. Condemn misses the wall, but the QSS is going to come down. Lucian should be able to find the culling damage. It's not going to be enough, but now Garen flashing in. He's going to be able to get the shutdown. This is almost an ace by Red Team. There's only one alive versus two alive. This is getting crazy. stinkytoefu has proven time and time again that he can go down to Garen, so if he's not careful here, he will die. And this is Red Team's window back into the game at this point. They've got Black Mirror down for only one more second, so they can't actually push anything here, but they've started to make Garen a target. They have to focus Garen now, which means Garen's going to have to pretty much immediately get a Cold Steel passive. I would probably go Frozen Heart. No, Frozen Heart doesn't really do you any good because you need that extra mana. But you need the Cold Steel passive. I don't know if Randuin's is very good there. He's gonna end up going Dead Man's Plate. I know for sure. Lucian could be going down to this Gromp. That's a mistake. That is a big mistake. A death timer of 40 seconds because you wanted to go take out Krugs. That is a little bit of a misplay. Riff, you seem to be very devoted to this game. Is there something internal going on? Maybe you were a player in this game, possibly? It seems like you were very passionate about this game that we're streaming right now. Kind of raging at the players even. That's okay, though. You know, we're all individuals. We all like to do different things. It's okay. Gym Cantore gonna find Supavisor, stinkytoefu, and the Black Mirror. He thinks he's in the lead here, but it's not gonna be enough. The Fizz ult's going down. Spell Shield is not gonna be enough. Supavisor going down, and now Garen is in a bad spot. He's not gonna go down just from that. He went Styx Gauge, just straight up. So he's going very tanky. I think also the full health, probably a good idea here. Considering they have Fizz, which is a very big burst mage. The Zanya's going down with Soul Shackles. The Colling's coming out on the side, but all it really does is tell you where Lucian is. And now they're going to try... the Final Spark's going to come down, but that's not even going to be close to enough damage. Now Rashad and Mr. Coincidence off on the wings. Rashad trying to get another 1v1, but that's such a terrible idea. Why would you go in on that? ANIREY trying to find a kill here. Lux should be able to find one, and she does, but she's going to go down immediately to Supavisor, who puts down the Ignite and Urchin Strike. Meanwhile, Vayne's just going to keep souling that out. Jim Cantore is going to have to try to find something in this this bot lane. He's going to go in on GG Sora. Going to get the fear tether. The QSS is coming down. It's going to break the tether. And now Jim Cantore in a 1v1 finds the condemn against the wall. Vayne able to find another ace. Should be able to take out this inhibitor. She still has her ult running. Going to be able to find quite a bit of health back. And... oh, wow. Another ace. Just a big deletion there. Basically, every time somebody comes up, Fizz just deletes them. And Jim Cantore a little bit upset about this game. Understandably, his mid lane are losing little handedly. Ooh, Lux gonna get the flashed final spark. They're just going back and forth. It's almost better to just go ahead and take off the chat right now. Oh, I can't actually do that. Maybe I can. Maybe I just did. Who really knows for sure? Looks like I just did. So we'll kind of just let them talk it out amongst themselves. They know the game's being streamed, as I tell everyone I sit in the lobby with that they're being streamed. So we're seeing ANIREY maybe as their only potential victory here. He's starting to get magic. He's starting to get magic resist now with Mercury treads, and Jim could be finding another 1v1 potential here. In Supavisor. Supavisor is very strong. 14-3 on that Fizz. He's got the Zanya's Hourglass. He's got basically the next item whenever he goes back. He's got 3k gold. Lux finding a double snare. This is going to be a lot of damage going down on a Fuzion hybrid. Garen spinning in and spinning in. The heal's going to come down. I don't think Garen's going to be able to find this here. And Vayne is not the person that you want to try to duel as Garen. He's got a lot of speed, though. And Morgana getting caught out here. This is going to be Morgana going down pretty much instantly. So that's, I think, a little bit of a mistake. Definitely a big mistake by Morgana as Black Mirror goes very aggressive. He's going to have to kite back to a tower. That's an overextension, but Jim Cantore is going to fall down. Now they've got the ZZ Rat portal completed over blue team. ANIREY going low, but not going to be taken out. Mr. Coincidence, however, absolutely destroyed. Gets melted by this Vayne, who tanks the towers for just a little bit too long, but it doesn't really matter. She's got Mercurial Scimitar and Blade of the Rune King for healing. She's also got her last Whisperer completed now with a Static Shiv and Boots of Mobility. This is a very strong Vayne. It's a Vayne with a lot of dual potential, and it's a Vayne that you don't want to find yourself the focus of. Ghostblade is going to get popped. Pantheon trying to find a couple of kills. Rashad jumping to the back line. He's going to find one. And they could find another onto Morgana. Could find another onto Vayne. He's going to find a triple kill here. Could find another onto Supavisor. We could see a quadra kill. The Playful Trickster going to be coming down. And a very nice pickup by Supavisor. Supavisor playing out of his mind well right now. 16, 3, and 8. That is a crazy KDA. Let's see. That's an 8 KDA right now. And we're going to see the surrender coming in. ANIREY, Mr. Coincidence trying to stop it, but the super minions just got to be too much. They couldn't. If they body block it, they die, and the super minions take the base anyway. 3 inhibitors down. It's going to be a pretty rough game. So we had a little bit of tilt coming in there. That's unfortunate. You always hate to see somebody go on tilt a little while. And at 10:03, I just got a tournament code. So that's going to be the game I'm jumping into. I am going to hop into a quick commercial break. However, I should say commercial break, but I don't mean it. We're going to throw on the damage graph real quick. This is the damage done. 30,000 by Vayne, 22,000 by Fizz, 17,000 by Graves, 13,000 by Pantheon. The nearest competitor being Garen at 19,000. Crazy game there, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be throwing it over to a basically just like an AFK screen is what I'm calling it, or non-monetized commercial break, whatever. Yeah, that is a good point. If you surrender, you get into another game right before the queues go down. But that is okay. So I'm getting into my last lobby right now. I'm going to take just a couple of minute breaks. I hope you guys enjoy the music by Audio Runner tonight. And I will see you guys in just a little bit.